Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well today. So today I'm going to show you how to install a WordPress website on a AWS server, specifically AWS Lightsail server. So we'll be following the same tutorial that we have on our blog. You can find it on underwp.com/blog. So we'll be following the first two parts of this tutorial. You will also see that as we go, and we'll be making a new website on a completely new Amazon Lightsail server. So for domain registrations, we are using Namecheap. So we'll be managing DNS servers on Cloudflare and also use Flexible SSL from Cloudflare for this new website. So let's go ahead and start installing WordPress on AWS Lightsail server. So first, we will log in to our AWS Lightsail server. And this is the dashboard that you will see. So from here, search Lightsail and find the Lightsail. We also have Lightsail shop lane. We will be, as you can see, this tutorial already exists on our blog. Just go to our blog on wp.com/blog and click on the server management category. So here is this tutorial series. Start with part 1. And here I'll start adding the website. I've registered on Namecheap. This website. I'll first add it in Cloudflare. Then on Namecheap, I'll click on the Manage button and go to the DNS section. Select Custom DNS. Put the Cloudflare DNS there. Select the free plan on Cloudflare. This software imports existing DNS records. We don't need so many records right now. All we need is a value. I'll delete all the rest of the values which we do not require right now. A value is required, so I won't delete this, but later I'll change it once we get the IP of AWS. So here I'll copy Cloudflare DNS, paste it on Namecheap. It says it will take 48 hours, but usually it's quite instant on Namecheap to propagate the DNS. So we'll check on Cloudflare for a few minutes. Until then, we'll get started with the tutorial on AWS Lightsail server. So you can search Lightsail once you log in into AWS. I think Namecheap is not required, so yeah, so I'll start creating new instance, like pressing the top button. We're using Linux platform with Nginx rather than WordPress because WordPress is built on Apache by default, Apache server, and I find Nginx more faster and better than the automatic snapshots. Is a very important and useful feature. If anything goes wrong with your website, you can always use this snapshot. We give this new Lightsail instance an easy to recognize name. As you can see, I must have followed this tutorial every time I'm creating a new instance on Lightsail server, or for that matter, any VPS server. As you can see, the server is being created, so it shows the status is pending. A few minutes, and this server, Lightsail server instance, will be active. And then we'll check on Cloudflare. We'll finish the quick start guide till AWS Lightsail. Here, I'd like to keep it off. Even the minify feature, it's good. Cloudflare has a good minify feature. If you're not using any WordPress plugin, then enabling it here is good. Okay, enable it now. You can also keep can also enable always use HTTPS. Is also a good feature. Enable it for now. Sometimes it creates problem, but most of the time it works. So we'll wait a few more minutes until name servers have been propagated to Cloudflare. And click that button for checking the Cloudflare. So as you can see, Lightsail has created our server. Click on its name. We have already enabled the automatic snapshots. as shown in the tutorial. So I think the first part is complete. Okay. So this button, connect using SSH, is a very useful button. You need to always, you'll be using it a lot. And this feature opens up a SSH window in browser itself. I'm using Mozilla Firefox, so it opens up as a pop-up. The SSH client opens up as a pop-up. So as you can see, this SSH window looks like this. And here we'll be doing some command operations to proceed further with this tutorial. And this SSH window is going to be a very useful one. So on part 2 of our tutorial on a blog, you can see there are a lot of command operations that we'll be using in this SSH window. So I am, yes, this window is blocking back the operations. Excuse me, because this is the new software that I'm using to record. I can see the Cloudflare. The domain has now been added successfully. So now we can manage all DNS and SSL activities. This website on Cloudflare itself. I'll be adding the IP address of AWS Lightsail server in Cloudflare and save. Now I'll go to part 2 of our tutorial and upload. I'm able to find to minimize this SSH window. Let's hope my tutorial is clear. If not, please comment below. I'll try to make a new video possible better than this. In this part 2 tutorial, there are going to be a lot of commands that we'll be using on our Linux Lightsail server. You can directly copy and paste these commands in this SSH Right. Yeah, I got it. How to make that window. So as you can see in this bar, there are a lot of commands, like I said earlier, that we'll be using to make to install WordPress on this Lightsail server. Let's get started. Here, first start. Copy the first command. Again, excuse me for all this. This is new. I'm using a new recording software. So please excuse me if you are unable to understand or see what is happening. But it's mostly the part 2 tutorial that I have used. So here I'm just copying IP address of AWS Lightsail server. I have assigned a static IP to this instance, and I have used this IP in Cloudflare in A address. So that the domain points correctly to the server IP. I guess now it will be much clearer. I have little bit. This size is too small, so to wait. Okay, so let's start copying the commands. You can directly copy paste these commands as well. There might be a few changes in the commands where you need to give the website name and everything. But the first three commands, they are usually downloading and extracting WordPress from the WordPress repository. Latest WordPress version will be downloaded and installed with these commands. And then I'll move this downloaded WordPress to website directory. This command. We put in the website name here for easy identification. All the files will be having Vietnamese HTML as owners, giving them giving these website files right modification rights with these two commands. Now I will be creating a server block for this website for Nginx to follow the structure of the website the right way. So all these commands already exist, and by default they have a good settings. They're not too advanced, not too beginner level. They're good enough for a normal website. You can always configure them according to your requirements if you know how to configure them. So here I'm creating a new file with this command for this new website or Nginx server to understand its files and structure. It's same like htaccess file Apache in Nginx servers. It will server with files for each website. And this configuration is for non-SSL, right? Next, I'll create for SSL as well. And wherever you see your website name, web brackets, you need to change it to your actual website name or any other name that you have given for your website directory. This is very important. Make sure you don't forget this. Just making sure again that this file has been created. Yes, ls. Looks like it has been created successfully. Next, server config file. Next, I will be creating the same config file for the same website. If it has to be served on SSL server, certificate. So this is also important because we'll be using Cloud Play SSL. Much better. You have this file. Make sure you put your website name again here when creating this new file. As you can see, two server config files have been created successfully. Important files. And now I'll restart Nginx. Check if Nginx is running. Sometimes restarting Nginx doesn't restart it. Yes, the server config files has some errors. As you can see, Nginx is running. beautifully. Now when I refresh the domain, yay, now it shows us the server setup files. Sorry, WordPress setup screen. This shows us that I have successfully deployed the WordPress website. Now let's create database for WordPress to be installed. This command gives the default password for WordPress that we have downloaded on AWS Lightsail server. So we have used Nginx image in the beginning. So this command gives us the MySQL password, thing like this, as you can see on the screen on the blog. I'll hide then which view, but I can run password. Once I input the password, I'll show it back. I guess I'm getting good at using this software very good. You know how to hide it. Okay. So now I'll put the MySQL command. Once I have got the password, Bitnami application password, it's usually for Bitnami. Okay. This is the password for MySQL root user. So I'll be using this password. Get into MySQL and then create database. It properly. Let me check again. Okay, so now I have successfully entered into, okay, let's go. Let's create database. Again, put your website name here or any other name that you want to give to this database. I usually put website name so that it's easy to identify. Wherever you see square brackets, you need to input your name or website name. Next, I'll be creating a user with the username and password for this database. is required for WordPress installation. So I have put my own username and password details. I haven't shown exactly the username and password, but you can use the same commands as shown as we have on our part 2 tutorial on the blog. And I have hidden the details from this video, from the screen, just to be keep for the security purposes. And I'll be inputting the same username and password and database details in the WordPress installation page, as you can see. Successfully inputting the right values in database name, username, and password, you will get to the welcome screen of WordPress installation. I'll put here the appropriate details again. We're hiding a few screens here for the security purposes. And now you can see we have the login page. So this shows that our WordPress has been successfully installed. You can also check the domain. You can see website is now active on the domain. So this is how you can install WordPress on any VPS or AWS Lightsail server. And also this is the most important part. Once you have installed WordPress by inputting the right database and database name, username, and password, you need to input these commands in the same SSH window or AWS Lightsail server to make sure that you give the right ownership and right values for the WordPress config file of WordPress. This is for security purposes. If you don't input these commands, you might see WordPress working, but some places, like for example, adding new plugins, you won't be able to add new plugins directly from the WordPress repository. And also, this is good for security purposes. So make sure you input these commands, but also make sure that these commands are being input after installation of WordPress website, because WordPress config file is created after installation of WordPress. So once you see the login screen of WordPress, it means you have successfully installed. So after that, I'm inputting these commands, and hopefully in a couple of minutes, our WordPress website will be ready to use further. And the rest, third part and fourth part of this tutorial, they are for advanced users. If you want to install SSL server, SSL certificate on your website and using the right plugins, right theme, backup plugin, all these things I have explained in part 3 and 4, which is also useful for migration of WordPress websites. So for installation, the first two parts of the tutorial are good enough. And if you want to learn more advanced stuff, you can always go to the blog and follow the rest of the tutorial. Everything works perfectly well because we use it every day for installation of this WordPress websites. So hopefully you have liked this video, and as you can see, you can install these. You can install a WordPress website on AWS Lightsail server, which is actually a recommended way for anyone, for everyone, for all of our clients. Because AWS server is pretty good and it's not so difficult as works. You can follow our tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe to our videos so that it's us motivation. Thank you.